there's no such thing as children's diseases like ADHD, autistic behavior, or even tantrums. Children do not have diseases.
Oh, yeah.
They have separation conflicts.
Oh, in this episode, we're going to talk about children's behavior. How can you decode children's behavior? What the underlying causes of behavior nila, so we can better understand and build a safe environment for them. With a biohacking pioneer of the Philippines, this is also the owner of Unlimited Recovery Center, Eli Abela.
They have separation conflicts. Their illnesses, usually their disruptions in development, deficits, are because they were separated from what was supposed to be their station of safety, diba? Which is Nanay. Our nervous system was built on two concepts only: danger or safety. Nature wants to be simple. Just two things. Am I safe here or is it dangerous? So basically, when a child comes out and it feels not safe, it will go into survival mode. So the nervous system has mechanisms that will allow it to stay in survival mode. But see, yung kasalungat ng if you're in survival mode, you're in fight, flight, or freeze, is rest and digest.
Yes.
Meaning, if you are in survival mode, you're not in the nervous system that allows for growth and development. And that's why there are deficits in development, because the child is in survival mode.
What would happen if hindi siya ma-address?
Well,
Mental health ka dyan.
I want to start with biohacking before we directly talk about decoding your child's hidden
Sure.
messages. So, paki-explain mo kasi ako, I think I don't have a better understanding yet of
Yeah.
biohacking. For me, medyo ano pa siya eh. It's an unknown term for me.
Uh-uh.
So, can you give us a simple explanation of what biohacking is?
Yes, so biohacking is, it can be a scary term because of the word hacking, right? But when you look at hacking kasi, it's like a clever way of doing something, like a clever way of shortcutting something, diba? Oh, it's a life hack, something like that, diba? So it was coined by Dave Asprey, who's the father of biohacking, because he came from Silicon Valley. And he called it biohacking because he was quite sick. Ang dami kasi niyang sakit, diba? He's on the autism spectrum. He had Lyme disease, and then he had mental health issues and everything. He saw doctors for decades, and then sabi ng mga doktor, wala kaming magagawa para sa'yo. Okay, done ka na, ganyan. So he said, no way. I'm gonna explore more things. So at the time, the early 2000s to 2008, 9, wala pang masyadong machines or gadgets then. But he was able to procure some people who would supply machines. And then he would use them on himself, and he would feel better. And then he would lose weight and everything, and it's like, hey, it's like I'm hacking my biology using machines and gadgets. So he coined the term biohacking, which is now a Merriam-Webster term. So it's in the dictionary, diba? So biohacking, you can use machines and gadgets, but it also practices that allow you to achieve an outcome in a short amount of time. For example, fasting.
Oh, that's form of biohacking?
Yes,
Ah, really?
fasting is a form of biohack, di ba?
Oh,
Kasi you're kind of hacking into the hormonal
So, it doesn't
system.
have to be machines?
No, it doesn't have to
Okay.
be. No, in fact, for me, like the Chinese medicine doctors and the Ayurvedic doctors, the yogis, those were the first biohackers.
Ah, okay.
Kasi they found a loophole of, in their biology. For these early practices, it was like yoga, diba? And mind, body, spirit. And then also using diet to find wellness. This is ancient practice. They were the original biohackers because they found a loophole in the biology that will allow for optimum wellness, mind, body, and spirit. That essentially is biohacking. Whether it be fasting, or a cold plunge, or even just a simple walk in the forest, those are all biohacks.
Oh, I see.
Diba?
Ay, so parang it's more than that. I
Yes.
didn't know na
Oo.
it can be as simple as that.
Yeah. It can even be as simple as, making sure that you sleep at 10 p.m. at night and then wake up with the sunrise. So basically you're syncing your circadian rhythm with the actual rise and fall of the sun. That's biohacking. So it's like coming back to nature.
Yes.
also, 'di ba? Kasi that nature is all about rhythm, 'di ba? And flow. And when you biohack, you're just plugging, aligning back into nature's rhythm. So it's basically looking for the pathways of that the biology regenerates itself, 'di ba? And a lot of that means plugging back into nature.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really amazing kasi, ayun nga, parang there are a lot of things that's going on right now na parang
Yeah.
takes you off the natural flow or natural
Talaga.
rhythm of life, di ba? That's why there are a lot of, di ba, parang illnesses na rin,
Yes,
ganyan, ayun.
absolutely.
Pero, anyway, particularly with the topic with regarding to children, you mentioned kanina, kasi kanina nag-uusap kami before we start the
Yeah.
podcast. And if you view her Instagram then or Facebook account, you're also facilitating healing with kids,
Yes,
di ba?
yes.
Especially kids in the spectrum, ganyan, di ba?
Yes.
So yeah, I want to talk about, siguro before we talk about children in the spectrum, I want to talk about muna yung simple behaviors ng mga children. So what do you mean when you say decoding your child's hidden messages?
Yes. So when we look at children actually, there's no such thing as children's diseases. Diba?
For
Kasi,
example, ng diseases na
for example, like ADHD or autistic behavior or even tantrums, diba? Things like that. There, and immediately when you see behavioral deficits like that or kids who cannot move, like spasticity or something like that, you immediately say or label them as they're sick or they're ill. But if you look biologically, children, there's no such thing as children's diseases because children are supposed to come out into the nest.
yes.
And if the nest is, well laid out, balanced, and all of the child's needs are met by the parents and the caregivers, and it is well fed because, as a baby needs to be well fed, needs to be taken care of, needs to feel very warm, all of those needs are met, then it's hunky dory. Everything, lahat dapat okay. So that kid should grow up with all of the mental faculties that it needs in the proper sequential development. Everything should be fine. Right? So that's why we say there's no such thing as children's diseases. But we look at saan
Yes.
ano nangyari sa bakit nagkaroon ng deficit sa needs ng child? Ano yung biological need na hindi na meet? 'Di ba? Number one is children come out helpless and incomplete. Right? I mean incomplete, 'di ba? I mean, I don't mean incomplete like they have a deficit. I mean we are required 25 years to fully grow into who we are. Unlike a chimp, it takes them a year. A cat or a dog, it only takes them a year to become an adult. But a human being requires 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah. So that's a lot of mentorship, guidance, diba? Hand holding, diba? Apprenticeship. Before 25 years, boom, you're a fully grown, mature adult, hopefully. And and then now basically you can, found your own family, house, ganyan, diba? Yeah, so 25 years. And the most crucial years are talaga the years before the age of 6.
Yes.
Kasi the child has the most neurons at the age of 2 because there's so much plasticity, so much learning, so much movement that is required for it to, develop the brain, and also against the laws of physics and gravity. As the child moves, it then learns how to walk, how to talk, and things of that nature. But even in the womb itself, there's already development that's happening. There's already connection with the mother. There's also learning about the environment and then knowing that it's connected to a caregiver. So the child, while in the womb, is connecting to the heartbeat, to the stomach acid, the grumblings of the mother, and also her breath and her voice. And so basically it knows, well, I'm safe because I'm taken care of. And this child is immersed in water. So it hears loudly yung heartbeat ng nanay and everything. Diba? But when it amplifies sound, it also amplifies sounds around her. And what is the modern mother surrounded by nowadays? It's not natural sounds. It's not sounds of birds or the leaves rustling or a spring or a brook. It's sounds of construction, of sirens, of ambulances shouting people, circle saws around. It's not natural. It's artificial sound. That's scary
Okay.
to a child. And the mother, for her, she's an adult. Ah, that's nothing. That's normal. That's normal sound for
Because
us
we are
na.
not aware as adults.
Yes. But we have to put ourselves in the place of a child or a fetus unborn with no idea what it means. It's just that it's very disruptive to me. I can't hear my mom's heartbeat anymore
Oh, okay.
when there's a
So even
siren.
dun sa ganyang scenario pa lang, parang the fetus doesn't feel safe
Yes.
na because of the sound,
Yes.
the connection.
Meron na. And of course, I'm not saying lahat, di ba? But more often than not, parang it becomes more and more rampant kasi the kinds of sounds that are coming out now in society, it's like everything, there's construction sa lahat ng lugar, di ba? And then, wala, if the mom is outside or in the mall or whatever, there's just so much noise.
Oh, okay.
And we're not aware, even ultrasounds can cloud the heartbeat of the mom and her voice. And then for a moment, the child can feel alone. And
Really?
yes.
Pag sa ultrasound?
Yes. So I'm not saying lahat.
Oo.
But if it happens often enough and you catch the child or the mother at a sensitive time where, she's going through something and then, nagka-ultrasound and then the child kasi feels the feelings of the mother. Diba? Kasi yun yung filter niya ng mundo. It's like, if my mom's not safe, I'm not safe. Yeah. Diba? So yun, knowing that, dun pa lang, meron na.
Yes.
Meron ang pwede. Yeah. So that's why for us, dapat we have to go back to our biological ways of living. It's to understand kung ano yung biological needs ng unborn child, ano yung biological needs ng nanay. Then, yung biological need ng 1 to 3-year-old is different from a 3 to 6 to a 6 to 9 to a 9 to puberty. From puberty, ibang-iba na. Because practically adult na siya.
Yeah, biglang nag-shift.
Oo, yeah. Tayo, normally, di ba, in modern society, we have just one style of parenting. It's don't do this, do what I say. That's it, pansit. Di ba? It's like, oh my gosh, it doesn't work.
Like, it's like a template na.
Yeah, template. Yeah, exactly. Because we think that that's what our child needs. And the interesting thing that my mentor says is that we destroy relationships with the best of intentions.
Okay.
You know?
Because we thought that it's the right way.
Yeah, because that's our interpretation of safety or what's best for my child.
Yes.
Diba? But, well, there's a better way now with this level of awareness. For example, we know that Down syndrome happens in the first trimester of pregnancy, and it is a hearing conflict. So more often than not, the baby is, kasi the ears will start to develop around that time, no, the first trimester. And if the mother is like embroiled in arguments, or she herself is shouting, or she has arguments with the father every day, or with whoever, with the boss, or if they live in a house that is surrounded like next to a hospital, tapos ang daming ambulances na lumalabas, ganyan. Oo, again, I have families with a child with a Down syndrome. They have 2 other children that are neurotypical, but the last child, let's say,
Neurotypical is, for ano lang?
is okay. It's like there's no, more or less the mental faculties are pretty developed
So they are
normally.
basically okay.
Yeah, they're basically okay. But the neurodivergent, like let's say the 3rd child has Down syndrome. Ano nangyari sa diba? They live in the same house. Yes, they live near the hospitals or whatever. What happened to
So
the last
it's not
child?
just about genes, gano'n?
For us kasi there's epigenetics, diba? But no For us with Germanische Heilkunde, with this work, it's formerly known as German New Medicine, the genes, it's not so much the genes as much as it is a learned or behavior that's passed down. Or a belief. When you come from a family, let's say the parents passed away from cancer, and then the dad believes that they have cancer in the family, and then they pass down that belief to the kids, and then it gets passed down. So it's more of like a belief rather than genetics. Because if it were genetics, you have to look at, okay, let's say there's a family of 7 kids, but only 2 get cancer, the rest don't. So if it were genetics, then dapat lahat. 'Di ba? Bakit nag-skip ng siblings? So there's a particular variable there that determines why one sibling will have cancer and the others don't.
So it's belief system, ganun?
It's belief, it's the psyche of the person,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
the nervous system
Ganon kalakas ang
resilience.
beliefs.
Oh yeah, super. It's the biology of belief, diba? But it's even more than just belief.
Oo.
It's
Siguro sa lifestyle din, kung ano yung...
could be, yeah, it's perception. It's a perception. Yeah. And then we could get into that. That's Germanische Heilkunde. But basically everything that I'm telling you now is from my study of Germanische Heilkunde. That's why we know all of the lahat ng root causes of kids with special needs, no? Because my mentor was here and he talked about talagang children with special needs, and we got into the constellations, psychotic behaviors of children as well. So we know also what happens, and it's always rooted in the nest.
Yeah, the nest means
The nest.
family.
Yeah, the nest means first mother.
Okay.
Diba? And it's not really to look at her as na siya yung may kasalanan. Actually, mothers need to be taken care of.
Yes.
Mothers should be sitting, pregnant mothers. Okay, so pregnant first. Pregnant mothers should not be working, should not be cooking, making laba, should not be doing anything except being pregnant, sitting down, being taken care of by a nest, by, a bevy or a gaggle of hens, friends, sisters. And she should just not do anything except be there for the unborn child.
Yes.
Yeah, but what happens now is that all the pregnant mothers, they're working, they're cooking, they're doing,
stressed.
they're stressed, they're doing finances, they're doing all of these things without being aware that they're growing another human being inside them, and they're also exposing it to forces of, the outside world that it's not aware of. And yung psyche ng bata is, I'm not safe. And also, nanay, when she's stressed, she has cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine. The child also bathes in those
Sorry,
hormones.
cortisol and yung minention mong
Oo.
isa, those are what?
Those are the stress hormones. Yeah, so the epinephrine, norepinephrine, they're neuropeptides of activity, of action.
Okay.
So they spur you into action, diba? So basically, stress is not a bad thing. It just means you have to get into some sort of action, diba? You can't rest. You have to do something.
Okay.
So those are the hormones that the body secretes in order for you to get into a more active state. Diba? So basically, if whether you're running away from a bear or if you need to get 10 reports out, it's the same thing. You need cortisol, right? So same thing. So the baby also bathes in stress, diba? In those hormones.
Okay, so for example, a mom who carries an unborn child,
Yes.
tas ganun yung environment niya.
Oo.
So, how does it look like if yun, napanganak na siya? How does it look like sa behavior ng child na yun dun sa 0 to 3 years old niya?
Oo, it depends again. So hindi, that's why what I don't want to do is to scare everybody here and say, oh no, what did I do? Ganyan. Kasi more often than not, I mean, we were all born in a like modern society. Hindi na tayo pinanganak sa, hole on the ground, diba? We were pretty much pinanganak sa hospitals and everything. We actually came out pretty okay. Diba? But then there are more sensitive situations where the mother is already sensitive and the baby is also sensitive. So yun, in those instances, it's possible that there could be already imbalances, no? So between 0 and 3, the child is practically attached to the hip ng nanay, dapat.
Which means,
Literally.
kaya
Li-
laging naka-yakap.
Yeah, in nature, you'll see the baby chimp is nasa nanay.
Ay,
Even the
oo.
nanay tulog, andun yung anak. I mean, until it develops, it has a brain burst where it starts to become curious and want to be a little bit independent.
Yes.
Pero before that, it's nanay. Nanay is like, may straw sa breast and that's it.
Yes.
Whenever I'm hungry, nanay's there. Whenever, nanay is my house. As in, tulog siya, then wake up, sleep, ganyan. For 3 years, dapat. Attached to the hip. Dapat. Ideally, right? But what happens? Nanay goes back to work.
Work.
Nanay gives formula. Wala nang breastfeeding. Nanay gives a nanny, yaya. Diba? Yaya now is the one that feeds formula. What happened to the connection with nature, with the breast? What happened to my mother? And then now they have this modern thing where they do self-soothing and they put the baby sa kanyang sariling kwarto because, oh, the baby should self-soothe. Pag umiyak siya, it should learn how to self-soothe. That is the most unbiological thing on the planet. I've seen it though be successful. Like,
Successful in what?
like, I mean, for some kids, hindi naman siya nagkakaroon ng sobrang malalang effect or outcome, di ba? So, you could argue na parang hindi naman siya mali kasi hindi naman lahat ng baby nagkakaroon ng problema pag yan yung ginagawa. But there are like yun na nga, the sensitive kids na pag binilagay mo sa kanyang sariling crib, oh my gosh, it's like I'm in this universe and I'm all alone.
Feeling abandoned din.
Yeah, the worst feeling or conflict that any living being can ever feel is to feel alone. Have you ever seen a stray kitten who's blind out in the street and crying? He doesn't even know if he will survive until tomorrow. Like, where will he get food? Where will he get warmth? What does he know about the world? Wala. Diba? So basically, all of us, all living beings, especially mammals, were designed to be born in groups of people, socially engaged. And kailangan, in the first few years talaga, nanay is nakadikit. Period. Yeah. So otherwise, kung hindi, there will be biological conflicts that we call separation conflicts. So basically, what I was saying earlier na children do not have diseases.
Oh, yeah.
They have separation conflicts.
Oh, that's a very nice perspective.
Yes, they have separation conflicts.
Okay.
Their diseases, their illnesses, usually their disruptions in development, their deficits are because they were separated from what was supposed to be their station of safety, diba? Which is nanay.
So, kumbaga parang ang root is yung safety and security.
Yeah, that's number one. Our nervous system was built on two concepts only: danger or safety. Only two.
Okay, and it
Nature,
triggers danger pag ganon.
yeah. So nature wants to be simple, diba? It's just two things: am I safe here or is it dangerous? So if you have a pack of wolves, they will make all of their decisions based on those two. Is it safe here for my pack or is it not? If it's not safe, then I'll move somewhere that's safe. That's it. Dalawa lang. Danger or safety. So basically, when a child comes out and it feels not safe, it will go into survival mode. So the nervous system has mechanisms that will allow it to stay in survival mode. But see, yung kasalungat ng, if you're in survival mode, you're in fight, flight, or freeze, right? Yung kasalungat nun is rest and digest. Meaning, if you are in survival mode, you're not in the nervous system that allows for growth and development. And that's why there are deficits in development. Because the child is in survival mode.
So, at a young age, yung fight, flight, or freeze,
Yes.
na-trigger na sa kanila yun.
Yes, because of separation conflicts.
What would happen if hindi siya ma-address at a young age?
Well, it could get a little bit worse, especially if there are brain changes already, like let's say with age, let's say 6 years old, it still gets worse, it still has separation conflicts. There can be parang more serious constellations that can happen. There's a possibility that the brain will get stuck in this
Right.
well, what we call in conventional medicine as mental illnesses, we would call it in Germanische Heilkunde or GHK as constellations.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
yung sa method na yun is constellations.
Yeah.
Pero sa conventional, it's
Mental illnesses. So they would call it anxiety, depression, bipolar, self-harming, suicidal tendencies, things of that nature. For us, it's constellation. So we know exactly how those come out.
So, if ma-address yan at an early age, or even maybe adult,
Yeah.
meron silang, sabihin natin, ma-diagnose sila ng ADHD or depression. So, if we get to the root cause, yun nga, yung feeling of not being safe, pwedeng ma-heal yun without medication?
Absolutely, puede. But I have to say, dapat the earlier the better. So before the age of 6, before any brain change. If it's not address before puberty, if let's say they allowed puberty to happen,
Can you give me
it's
an exact
practically
age
hard.
of yung sa puberty? Exact age na dapat
Oo.
dapat sana na address na siya.
Oo. So puberty for women, it's actually dapat 11 years old.
Ah,
Okay, normal puberty talaga in nature is 11, but people think that it should be 13 or 14. It's not. There are some kids women that actually get it at 9 years old, but 11 is the right age for puberty because women mature earlier than men. For men, puberty is about 12, 13 years old.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's when you see the voice change and everything. So dapat, for me, dapat before the age of 8.
na-address na
Oo,
siya.
dapat. So I had a patient 2 years ago who he was 8 years old. So hinabol namin. We tried to make habol. Kasi by age 9, there's already this threshold na pre-puberty that they already have a bit more testosterone. There's some maturity that can already happen. So sana before that brain change, ayusin na.
Okay.
No?
Yes. So kapag, okay, before, sabi natin 8, before 7, ganyan. If untreated, yun na yung nagiging template nila.
In a way, yes, pwede. It can be. And then again, it's already it's a survival mechanism kasi ng brain eh. That's why this constellation, they'll swing manic depressive, 'di ba? And usually they are exposed to the conflicts that started it, which would be something that happened in the nest, right? Usually, more often than not, it happens at home. But then, let's say home is pretty balanced, you have another war zone called school. And then you have another war zone, like another dimension of school, which is cyber school. So cyberbullying can also happen in school. And then you have all of these other things, right? Social media, all of that stuff. Ang dami. But it can be balanced naman. I mean, there are ways now that we know how it triggers. We can reverse engineer the triggers and then educate parents on how to raise their children biologically. So whenever there's a child that comes to me, I always look at the parents. First thing is always, how's your relationship to each other, and how are you disciplining your child? Because there's such a thing as over disciplining, and then it also differs if your child is a boy or a girl, and it differs if your child is right or left-handed. And also if the girl is right or left-handed.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's the gift of Germanische Heilkunde. Kasi in conventional men, they don't care. But for us, the right or left-handedness of the child, of the boy or girl, determines their behavior and also the perspective. Also determines the hormone changes. Yeah, it's so interesting. It really is. I mean, it's just amazing. Human beings are just
Yeah.
insanely
Oh my God,
amazing.
may ganun pala. Pero, okay, before sila ma-diagnose, for example, anxiety, ADHD, what other behaviors yung typical na nakikita sa bata when they are in fight mode? Ganyan.
Fight or flight. Usually for boys, there's aggression. So they push each other. They have angry outbursts, diba? But I would say even the females have that. Diba? Even females. In fact, you'll see a lot of females who are very aggressive, tomboyish even, diba? Because there's a tendency to be that. So those are some of the behaviors. A lot also are deficits in movement. So they're not able, either they have spasticity or they just don't have a mind-body connection. It's incomplete. Diba? And again, that is because they're always in survival mode, diba? They're not in the nervous system of growth. So hindi nakahabol yung development ng child, diba? But not everybody is blessed with a trauma-free childhood, right? All of us are of trauma, and even if a lot of us have had childhood trauma, like the trauma patients that come see me, there's so much major trauma, like you can't imagine, but they're okay. Then they're stable. They're married. They have businesses. Once in a while they'll feel sad or whatever, and then they need help, but they're basically pretty okay, diba? But my advocacy right now is to educate the future parents who want to have kids to come back to nature and then abide by the biological laws of nature. Kasi nature has a formula eh. Ginawa niyang easy. Actually, what before was nebulous is now something that can be deciphered. Thank you to Dr. Hammer of Germanische Heilkunde. Now we can just look at the formula and then use that as a template, diba, to raise our children. And it always starts with the sense of safety. Ang bata is practically a creature. I mean, if you see them, they're babies. They're no more intelligent than a dog, a puppy, or a cat. Diba? If they're hungry, they will scream. Just like a dog, it will just bark at you, or your cat will say, "Meow, I need food." Same, ang bata is the same. If it's hurt, it will cry. Same thing. They're like helpless creatures. Diba? So, I mean, you would do everything to make a dog feel safe, a puppy feel safe, diba? You would love it and everything. Same thing for the cat, for the baby, except that it's your baby.
Yes.
Your body, and I'm talking about Nanay, ha. Your body is pre-made for two. Your body is basically changing itself according to the biological needs of that baby. So when you are kissing, smelling, feeling in skin, your body is calculating the needs of that child and in fact brewing the kind of breast milk that it's going to put out according to what the child needs. Diba? So it's not just, kissing it and smelling it and cooing with oxytocin is not random. There's a biological purpose for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you can that child, you're like the stanchion of safety for the child, diba? When it senses you, it can sleep.
Yeah.
Diba? Pag wala ka, wala. Fight, flight, freeze, cry. Which means survival mode, which means I'm not growing.
Yes.
I'm surviving. Diba? But if you are there, oh, I am free to do anything and to explore and to make my brain grow by, exploring this cabinet and crawling here and everything. And then when I'm hungry, okay, feed me, give me your breast. And then when I'm sleepy, hold me so I can sleep and my brain will grow in sleep. It's safe to be normal.
Yeah.
To have that normal sequence of development. Diba? It just kind of makes sense. Na it's almost silly.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi people will so get it when I say that na parang, oh yeah. But then we don't do it. We don't follow nature. That's where we went wrong. But then it's something that na pwede nating ayusin, diba? With this knowledge. And then by 3 years old, dapat so between 1 and 3 years old, kailangan talaga naka-attach siya sa'yo. Mothers, should have some sort of trust fund so they don't work or that, so that they won't be compelled to work. Na yung work that they need to do is the most noble work of all, which is to nurture another human being, a new human being. By 3 years old, there will be another brain change and there will be some sort of independence, but not fully yet. But there will be a little bit of independence, exploring the outside world, things like that. 6 years old, same thing. There's more individuation and also wanting to be with father. So the father will now play a role more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the role of the father is not to take care of the child. It's to take care of the mother.
Yeah.
So
Louder, please.
right. But the thing is, women don't allow fathers to take care of them because women are so independent and masculine now na parang, I don't need a man. So what are the songs out there that are popular by Miley Cyrus? I can buy myself flowers. By the way, this is by a woman who was scorned by a man.
Yes.
But why did she feel scorned by a man? It's because she's not feminine. She's practically masculine. And what happens when you have two men in the room?
Flash.
Oh yeah, two lions will fight. Basically, her man didn't feel that she was a woman. She was a man. And syempre, why?
Yes.
Diba?
So it's also based in biology.
It's based in biology. It's not our fault that we turn masculine. Women are are biologically valuable. So if, let's say, for some reason, a lioness loses her loses her sense of safety or whatever, there has to be a way for her to become aggressive so that she can protect herself and the children.
So she steps in that power.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
safety.
Exactly. So you will see these reels of, let's say, a mother bear. A mother bear kasi, kunyari, nawalan siya ng asawa and then she has small cubs. Then she encounters a big bear, na male bear, na gusto siyang asawahin. Okay? Ang gagawin kasi ng male bear, papatayin niya yung cubs.
Oh, talaga?
Oo. Kasi kung pag pinatay niya yung cubs, he can impregnate her with his own.
I
Kasi
see.
A male bear, even a male human, will not want to take care of the kids of another man.
Oo.
Diba? They will not
Oo.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's true.
Right? It's true. It's true. Even if humans can somehow, yeah, okay, I
Okay.
can make do, but sa loob nila, it's like, I don't want to. Diba? But it's never more clear than in the animal kingdom. The bear, talagang gusto niya, papatayin niya talaga yung cubs. So what happens is pag pinatay niya yung cubs, she will have an ovarian cancer and that will increase her estrogen. She will get in heat and then they will mate and then
Oh,
she'll get
okay.
pregnant agad. So this is again Germanische Heilkunde. We understand why this happens. Anyway, you see this bear, na this mother bear who's quite big herself, but you see this male bear na sobrang laki. She will fight him off to the death. Yeah, like she needs to be a man and she needs to protect her kids and she will really. And so it's not our fault that we have to be masculine when we feel alone in the world. And there are a lot of women who feel alone in the world. One is because they were left or disappointed by the first man that they wanted to be supported by, which is their own father,
Yeah,
who
that's
let,
another thing, though.
'di ba? Who, let's
Oo.
say, left or fought the mother or disappointed me or didn't give me the
The
attention I
father
wanted.
issues.
Father issues so easy, 'di ba? Then passes on to the boyfriend in high school who breaks her heart or leaves her for another girl, and then things of that nature. And then so basically this girl has been alone since she was a child. And so nature says, you're too valuable. I want to make you strong. So she gets into a masculine state. She becomes like a little tomboy or whatever. She gets into martial arts, runs, she gets into bodybuilding and everything. you
Yeah,
know,
oo.
that's normal. It happens. So most women are like that. But it's not our fault. It's nature's way of allowing us to survive.
Yes.
Diba?
I wanna dial in that topic as well. Pero before siguro, no, before I forget, I have a question lang. Like, for
Yeah.
example, with children na, yun nga, or with parents who slowly notice na may mga certain behaviors na sa children nila na
Yes.
maybe one of the causes is, feeling not safe, ganyan.
Yeah.
So, what can they do ba to, to somehow regulate and understand them on a deeper level?
Yeah, good question. I would always look at the dynamics ng nest, kung bakit yung bata doesn't feel safe. More often than not, yung relationship nga ng parents is felt by the children. Really. Like, even if words are not said, like, even if they feel the energy ng parents, and to them it's like the greatest fear in the world. Anong mangyayari sa akin ngayon kung wala na yung tatay ko, let's say kung mag-break sila, anong mangyayari? They're so scared. Like, I had a patient who was 7 years old and he was awakened by his fighting parents, screaming at each other, and then he could feel his heart through his chest, his skin, and he remembers it like yesterday, and he's now 57. That's 50 years of that trauma. And children, their whole world universe is the nest and the parents. So nafe-feel nila yan. So the first thing is always, kamusta? Kamusta? Kamusta yung nest? Maganda ba siya? Your kids ba? They feel safe there? How's your relationship? Because you are their world. You are the giants that are in charge of them. And basically, kung yung parents don't feel secure in the world, lalo sila.
Yes.
'Di ba? You've seen those reels of yung nanay, hawak nila yung bata. Tapos the nanay will make panggap na nauntog. So basically she just hits the wall, pero hindi siya nauntog, and then she'll make panggap na, ganyan. And then the baby will cry also, pero hindi nauntog yung nanay, 'di ba? And in the same token, there are also reels where, the kid hits the head on the wall, and then the mom says, "Oh, hey, are you okay? Yeah, you're good." And then the baby says, "Yes, I'm okay."
Yes.
'Di ba? Whereas yung reaction kasi, mirror neurons yan eh. They will refer to your reaction about the world. So if you're not safe, they're not safe. Until, let's say, that's why when they get to 6 years old, they have a concept of time. They already can kind of figure out a little bit more. 'Di ba? Hindi na sila super dependent sa'yo. Diba? And that's the way nature wants it to be. Now, there's like safety, but a little bit of individuation. So there's still a cord that's connected. And then, pero pag puberty, wala na. Puberty, they have neuropeptides that are specifically secreted to cut the cord from mom and dad. So basically,
really?
if before puberty, I want to be with mom and dad always. Mom and dad are my favorite people on the whole planet. After puberty, it's like, please drop me off 2 blocks away and I'm just
Yes.
gonna walk in myself. It's like the greatest, diba? It's like the greatest humiliation if, like, let's say you pick them up at a party. It's
Yes.
like, Mom, Dad, ano ba? Diba?
May
To
ganun
be
factor
to
na.
be ready for that. And nature planned it that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kasi kung hindi, they will be forever children. Hindi sila magkakaanak. Diba? But,
So, okay.
yeah.
So, yun. First is to look at the nest.
Look at the
which is
nest.
relationship of the parents.
Yeah.
And then,
Look at the attachment, the mother and the child attachment. Kasi there is there's a bonding that needs to happen between. So sometimes for the patients that I have, and they're like, even if they're like 12 years old, the first sessions that I do is to bond with the mother because they didn't feel that. And so parang there might be a way to kind of reverse engineer it to retroactively have that bonding be established again just to feel connected and safe again to the mother. Those are some of the first sessions that I do.
oh, okay.
Oo. Yeah, so that the bonding, and then to look at daycare. Are they in daycare? Daycare is the worst thing you can do for your kid, especially if they're sensitive. Because what you're doing is like you're dropping them off and say bye, and then you're leaving them with strangers. And then it's basically they're abandoned every single day for hours at a time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Daycare is like the worst thing you can ever do for your children.
okay. Mostly sa setup ng mga Filipinos is we really have to work.
Yeah.
To save money.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
can you
yeah.
advise to those parents na I have to work and ayokong iwan yung anak ko pero I have to work?
Oo nga eh. Yeah, especially pag single mothers, 'di ba, that
Yes,
have to provide and everything. You know what my dream is to like have a society or a co-op for mothers to support pregnant mothers and mothers themselves. So just to have a trust fund to have all of her needs taken care of. Kasi what does she really need is to feed her kids, feed herself, 'di ba? Have, pay for some bills or whatever. But to have like a subsidy or some sort of fund that takes care of all of that. 'Di ba? Kasi that's the way we are supposed to be in community. We're supposed to be taken care of. That's how we ensure survival, is that there's collaboration and cooperation instead of competition. 'Di ba? And the mothers, kasi the future generations are so dependent on how the mothers are psychologically, mentally, physically, how they are while carrying and while taking care of the kids. So they should be supported. 'Di ba?
So, it would be better if there are other members of the family that
Yes.
can step in.
Kaagad. Even way before, like even 18 months before they even have a first child, by, just to make sure that there's a support group system already in place. Yeah. I mean, it might be practical to say na, if you don't have the funds to support a child, to not muna have a child.
Yes.
'Di ba? But then
Be
it's
responsible.
the thing is, it's better to have kids when you're young.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
another thing pa. So, how would you that balance?
Yun na nga eh. It's better to have kids when you're young. I think it's also to look at your standards of living, because a lot of the times we like to compare ourselves to the influencers that we see on Instagram and say, wow, they're so successful, I want that life and everything. And so we end up working and making kayod all day to get a modicum of that life. Or maybe it's like, I want to go to Paris one day, and then everything that we work for goes to that one trip. I mean, is that really practical? Diba? It isn't. It really isn't. But then, social media kind of awakens that kind of desire, but it's not biological, it's not practical.
Yeah.
But if you look at, of course, you can't say just the basics, right? But, basic, really, you just need basic, a place that's safe, have basic food and everything for the kid, the breast and all of that.
Like emotional safety then,
Emotional safety is the most important. Just put food on the table, have a place to say shelter. And then schools naman, there are home schools and things of that nature. It's like to find a standard of living that where you're pretty comfortable but also providing safety. Because a lot of the conflicts now in the world is lack of money. It's a lack mentality. It's like I don't have enough money to put food on the table, which actually hits the liver. So people with liver issues, it's starvation conflict is actually what you call lack mentality. It's not because of drinking or too high cholesterol. It's because people have starvation conflict, and a lot of that is also caused by the society now and what we think of as a life that I want to have, which is really basically kayod ka to maintain the kind of life you have.
Yeah.
Diba? You have a mortgage, you have 2 cars that you're paying for, then you have the schools of the kids that are so expensive,
So liver
ganyan.
is lack mentality.
Yeah.
Ganun?
Yeah, starvation
talaga?
conflict. It could also be over dieting or over fasting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
That's wow.
Yeah, yeah. That's why it's so rampant, diba? That's why ang daming may liver issues. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oo. It's a
Okay,
lack
I see.
mentality.
So yung method na binabanggit mo, can you
Mm-mm.
explain that? And ano yung meron doon? Or if people want to explore then, like, how do you think it's helpful? Even dun sa minention mo kanina, na if it depends left or right brain. Like,
Yeah,
yung
yeah,
mga
yeah,
ganon, oo.
yeah. I mean, it's so complex, but I'm planning to teach it naman. So I'm planning to teach it in the simplest way possible so that
Yes,
parents can
yes.
be educated,
Yeah. What's the name
easily.
again?
It's Germanische Heilkunde, so it's that's a German word for Germanic Healing Knowledge. But it was formerly known as German New Medicine.
Okay.
Okay, but the founder, Dr. Ricke Gerdhammer, he's German, he changed it in 2010. He just thought that it wasn't appropriately represented when we call it German New Medicine because it's not German, it's not new, and it's not medicine. So he changed it into Germanische Heilkunde, which is
Yeah.
the Germanic way of living, and that means to be aligned fully with the laws of nature.
Oh, basically
Yeah.
yun, laws of
Yeah.
nature.
Biological laws of nature. That's
Oo,
it.
okay.
That's why it's so rooted in biology. And this is the reason I can also talk about it even if I'm not a parent myself. I'm not married. And I can explain also why I'm 53 and unmarried with no kids. I can explain it through Germanische Heilkunde, but even if I don't have kids, I'm not a parent. It's based on the biological laws of nature. I can explain it still. What happens to your kids? 'Di ba? Kasi it's biology eh. It's brain based, what happens to the biology.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if I don't have kids myself, maybe I'll have, a better perspective in terms of parenting, like the nuances or whatever, but the way the childhood illnesses happen, it's based on the laws of nature. Yeah.
Yeah, like you mentioned, lack of safety,
Yeah.
lack of security.
For the kids, separation conflict more often than not. Also, not allowed to bite. That's why they have a lot of dental caries. There's self-evaluation.
Okay, so yung kanina, before tayo mag-record, yung na-mention ko na panood ko kay Dr. Gabor Bata, he's a normal doctor.
Oo.
Ayan. And he specializes in childhood trauma. Ganyan.
Yes.
So yun, na-mention niya na parang these are just, yung mga illnesses like ADHD or depression, this can be a coping mechanism.
Yes.
So, do you agree and can you expound?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like what we were saying kanina na parang danger or safety. Dalawa lang naman yun eh, di ba? And more often than not, ADHD and ADD are a kind of coping mechanism in, these are children who are just trying to survive.
Yes.
Yeah, because the universe is not a safe place. It's not a friendly place. That's their perception. But if we look at Germanische Heilkunde, we know, and this is from Dr. Hammer's studies of 60,000 patients, so he was able to collate the information. We know that it's because of the nest is not balanced. So the parents are not balanced, the relationship isn't balanced. In fact, he would call ADHD absent dad home disorder.
Oh, I see. absent dad.
Home disorder. Parang ganyan.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's a sort of separation conflict. And there's something that happens kasi pag nagkakaroon ng separation conflict, there is a moment that the brain gets into what we call an absence. Absence meaning absent-minded. The brain forgets the separation as a sort of protection mechanism. Yeah, so let's say a baby, let's say a toddler, you put them in kindergarten every day or daycare, and then they seem okay. It's because they go through this period of absence. The brain protects itself by forgetting that he actually had parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so parang, oh, they look okay. But then pag uwi, it's like they're crying they realize, oh my gosh, I have parents. Ganyan, they snap out of it.
Ganun pala.
It's also the reason for eczema, neurodermatitis in kids, and also eczema in kids. It's a separation conflict because skin is the first number one organ of communication. Because if you lose skin contact with your mother, then you lose communication with her.
Oh, I see.
It's a separation conflict.
So what happens, like for example, if yung feeling unsafe, hindi siya na-resolve, tapos
Oo.
parang adult ka na,
Yeah.
ano yung behavior naman mo?
A lot. Anxiety, bipolar disorder, suicidal tendencies. There's so many, but it's always rooted in the home. It really is. ADHD, ADD is really either the parents are arguing or kasi there's a pattern that the brain changes. Meron siyang pattern eh. And kasi the children are so highly dependent on mother and father. That's why it's always so important to have the two-parent privilege.
Yes.
Always. Nature doesn't make mistakes. Kailangan talaga may mother and father doon, period. Even in, di ba, the birds, there's a biological role kasi that each one ensures the safety and the development of the child. So there has to be two talaga. And the absence of one will be perceived or experienced as a conflict, but especially if it's mother. Especially kung nanay. Yeah. Nanay is nest, and that's where the baby grows. So she has to be the one talaga. Out of the two parents, dapat siya.
Oh, I see. And then the father, alaga na mother.
Yes. Yes. Oo. So basically, the father will sacrifice his life if needed for the most valuable asset of nature, which is the mother. The mother is even more valuable than the child. Because if the child dies, the mother can make a new one. But if the mother dies, then no more children.
Yeah.
So that's why you often hear mother and children first. Diba? Like if there's a boat that needs to be evacuated, they always say mother and children. Mother and children first. But they say mother first
Oh, okay. Yes.
instead of
So,
children.
as we wrap up the episode, siguro gusto ko lang balikan talaga yung
Wrap
sa
up
autism.
na.
Yeah, parang ano na yata.
I have so
no?
much to say
Kaya nga,
pa.
diba?
What time is it now?
Pero, I want to dabble first, kahit short lang dun sa autism. Kasi you mentioned that
Yes.
And if you see her Instagram, Facebook account, yun nga, nagpa-facilitate siya ng mga sessions for
Yes.
children in the spectrum. So,
Yes.
you mentioned din kanina na parang there's no such thing as illnesses.
Yes, there's no such.
Includes itong
Yeah, it includes autism. The thing about autism kasi, it can be avoided. It can be avoided.
a
Okay.
lot of parents should hear this.
A lot of parents should hear this. And it's so interesting because it happens mostly to boys.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Diba? It's very rare that we have females, but it can happen with females. But
Pero
females,
is that based on data?
yes. Germanische Heilkunde, based on the 5 biological laws of nature, we can actually predict it. Yeah, we can predict it. So it happens less to females because females are biologically valuable and protected by nature. So that's why also we have women are protected from heart attacks. Diba?
Can you explain
I mean, you don't hear about women dying from heart attacks. It's mostly men.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
except when she turns 50, she's no longer that biologically valuable because her kids are already big and she's really
biologically valuable. So you mean it's a divine
biologically
intervention?
valuable reproduction. because she carries life, but only in
Okay.
her reproductive years.
Oh,
Okay, but
okay.
at 50, at menopause, she can do whatever she wants with her life, and maybe also get a heart attack. So there's
Oh,
danger of heart
but
attacks
mostly
at
men.
50 and more. But before 50, she's protected.
Oo.
Yeah, and mostly men. Mostly men. I can also explain that, but not in this episode. But
Mm-mm.
anyway, okay. So, autism is a constellation. A constellation means that there are two biological conflicts. A biological conflict is a life event that is perceived as distressful by the individual. And the biological conflict has to perceive with four criteria. It's acute and unexpected, so it came from left field. I didn't see it coming. Isolative, I feel all alone. And caught off guard, I don't know what to do. Those four make up a biological conflict. When we
So,
call
sorry, sa perspective na na-experience na ng kid ito, hindi na
lahat,
sa...
even us, basta a
Oh, okay.
biological conflict period is experienced with those four.
Yes, and yung constellation is, again, it's mental illness, right?
Yes,
Okay.
constellation is mental illness, but in Germanische Heilkunde, a constellation is two biological conflicts that are active at the same time. Okay? And that's why we swing right to left. That's why we have manic depression. We have the left and the right hemisphere, right? The left hemisphere is the feminine hemisphere, the right is the masculine hemisphere. And that, based on the conflicts that happen that hit on the right or left hemisphere, it changes our hormonal status. And hormones is what dictates our behavior and our perspective of the world. So even if you're a woman, di ba, I was saying that kung namatayan ka ng anak, ng asawa, magiging lalaki ka, meaning your hormones will change into testosterone. So basically, if your father bear dies and you see this big bear, you become a man and you fight. So the hormones of that, let's say, that bear, umakyat yung testosterone, and she saw the world as a man, which means I need to kill this big bear,
Yes.
diba? So yan. So anyway, that's a little complex, diba? But anyway, one day I will dedicate one whole hour to talk about
Yeah.
that. Okay, but anyway, this is autism. Autism is usually perceived by a right-handed boy. The first conflict that triggers is a territorial anger. A territorial anger is a territory that is in threat, like highly threatened. So their territory, their safety also, but something that is taken from them, and it instills anger. So territorial anger is something like that is, let's say you feed a dog food, diba? Oh, here's your food, ganyan. In the middle of eating, if you grab it,
Yeah.
it's an
Agad din
impulse of
ka.
the brain.
Yes.
That's a territorial anger.
Oh,
Diba?
okay.
That's my territory, kinuha mo. And anger is a survival mechanism to get it back. So same thing with boys. And actually, territorial anger is part of the constellation that makes murderers, shooters, serial killers. But anyway, we'll talk about that in another episode. But anyway, so the half is territorial anger. And then the second biological conflict is scare fright,
Okay.
something that makes them scared and speechless with fear. There's more nuances to this. I don't want to confuse people, but basically, we know it's a territorial anger plus a scare fright. So what can trigger this? The home, yes, something can happen at home, but more often than not, it's also when they are getting injected. When they are getting injected. But anyway,
Injected.
vaccinations. But anyway,
Oh, okay.
why? It's not the vaccination itself, it's not what's in the vaccine, it's the way the vaccine or injection is being given.
Oh.
Right? So let's say the child is, I don't know, 2 years old or 18 months or something, and then it is being forced against his will. So territorial anger, diba? It's kicking and screaming, no, I don't want. And then, no, it's okay, don't worry, it's okay. Then you pin him down. Okay? So that's territorial anger. And then, when you put the injection in, sakit, scare fright.
Okay.
As soon as that happens,
So, parang
behavior change.
it's kind of a trauma na din sa kanila. Ganun.
Everything is a trauma. Biological conflict is a trauma. Diba? But, Gabor Mate will say big T and
And
small
small
t. The thing is, for us kasi, ang biological conflict is not a psychological conflict. 'Diba? What we call a biological conflict may kasamang organ change, may kasamang brain change. 'Diba? A psychological conflict is like, let's say, your favorite actor passed away and you really love this actor, you've been following them forever and then biglang namatay and you're sad. But there's no organ change. You're just sad. That's psychological. But there's no brain change. Nothing. This one is a survival
So, usually,
mechanism.
pag survival, nagkakaroon ng
Yes.
biological.
Depends on the perception of the person. Diba? So, let's say there's another kid who gets forced and is shouting, kicking, and whatever. Pero it's no big deal. It's like, it's like my brother wrestling with me. Ganyan. And then yung perception ng bata is, even if I'm being forced down, okay lang, nilalaro lang ako. Parang yan. So there's no conflict. Diba? Then injection, nothing. Okay? So no autism. But a particular child with a sensitive psyche who really feels unsafe, as in, my territory is really under threat. Just like that dog na nawala ng pagkain. Parang ganyan, survival. Kung wala yan, patay ako. Diba? So if you take me, it's like I really might die. Territorial anger on the right side of the brain. And then so only the left hemisphere is the one that opens. And then it feels the pain, scare, fright. It's like speechless with fear. And that moment, behavior change. That moment, autism.
Ganun.
Yeah, because autism is survival. It's like, I'm gonna freeze or I'm gonna make,
Nagtutune out.
yeah,
Ganun.
I'm gonna make myself unseen, unheard. I'm gonna hide. It's like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Pero, hindi aware ang tao sa,
No.
like for example, ay medyo sensitive siya, I better not, put him in that situation. So, before that, how would you become aware of your children's behavior? Kung sino yung
Oo.
may tendency na maging gano'n?
Yeah, and see, that's the thing kasi yung psyche ng bata might have already been sensitive because of, pregnancy conflicts, di ba?
Ay, okay.
Or the parent conflicts, di ba? You can already tell na medyo sensitive na siya. But a kid who comes out with a pretty robust nervous system na it can, like the ventral vagal complex is awake and can soothe itself, you want to make the psyche as robust as possible from the beginning pa lang. But it has to start from the psyche of the mother.
Yes, mother
Has to
talaga.
has to start from the mother. Yeah. And that mother needs to be taken care of by the father, husband, but she also needs to allow him to take care of her.
Yes, to soften, step into
Yes,
your feminine.
correct.
Yes, okay.
Diba?
That's another question. Kasi what if naging masculine ka, diba? Because you need it for survival.
Correct.
How are you going to step back and be feminine again?
Yeah, you can with knowledge. So I'm part of this also by the same mentor. We call it the Freya Biology of Love course, which is designed to help women come back into their biological feminine nature. Kasi the architecture of our brain is female, so it will never change. Even if we're masculine hormonally through menopause, or if you
Yes.
take what you call it, birth control pills, if you're breastfeeding, if you're pregnant, usually you are in your masculine hormones. But it's okay, you can override it by communicating in a feminine way. And we teach this to women.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
I
and
feel like I need that.
I've already had 60. I want na your generation to take it. Para kasi you're the future mothers, di ba?
Yes.
Para yung babies. This is my advocacy. The end of special needs. Because it can be prevented. Like autism. That scenario can be prevented. Diba? It's just that we're so unaware, we're so living unnaturally without the laws of nature.
Yeah.
And we just force things on kids without even respecting, are you okay with this? No. If they're not at the sign of distress, make that an important sign. Diba? If they don't feel safe, they don't feel safe. Period. And protect them. It's your responsibility to fulfill that biological need that they feel safe. That's it.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Grabe no, parang simply put, it just boils down to safety and
Danger. That's it.
talaga.
That's it.
Okay. Oh my gosh. And I feel like ang dami pang pwedeng i-add.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
simple, right?
Mm-mm.
Nature is so simple.
Yes.
Yun lang. Safe, danger. That's it. Our nervous system, sympathetic, parasympathetic. One is for safety, action. The other one is for rest, digest, breathe, feed, which means safety. Because if you breathe, you have to be safe to breathe. If you eat, you have to be safe to eat. Diba? Otherwise, if you're not safe, that means you're fighting or you're working. Which means you can't breathe while you're working. You can't eat while you're working. Ganun lang, dalawa lang. That's it.
And
Yeah.
that's why we are raising awareness. Thank you again.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, we should. Ang dami pang
Ang dami. I
pero
know, I'm bitin. Even me, I'm bitin. I have so much to say.
Yes, we should do
Yeah.
a different session pa
Sige.
about different topics because we do a lot of things and I think that we can dabble on different topics pa about about
Yes.
mental health, especially yung danger and safety.
Yeah, adolescence.
Yeah,
The
oo.
thing. Yeah, we were talking about.
Yeah, but okay, where they can find you if they want to do sessions with you and their kids, ganyan,
Yeah.
and all of your offerings.
Yes, you can find me on Facebook and on IG as Coach Eli Abela with underscores. Ellie is ELI, so it's short for Elizabeth, but Ellie is the nickname. And then also Biohacking Pioneer PH. I also manage two groups on Facebook, Biohacking Philippines with 11,000 people and Biohacking Plus GHK with 2,000 people. That's a private group. And then I'll also be coming out with offerings about teaching this as simply as I can for parents and not necessarily just for parents or special needs families, but for all. Kasi everybody needs to know how conflicts arise in children. And then I'll also come up with maybe short courses and also small, maybe booklets, and even I'm going to write a whole big book because I have a real success story about overturning a special needs family into neurotypical using this work. So it's so possible.
Yeah, I think it's really important lalo na when, kumbaga parang some friends ko, whenever I hear the kind of story, syempre kumbaga it's devastating din eh.
Oh, it can be. It doesn't have to be though.
Yeah, pero there's a way. Reach
There's a
out
way.
to, Ellie.
Yeah, there's a way. Pero I have to say this, the parents ang pinakamalaking factor. The parents are the ones who will do most of all of the work talaga, and they really have to work at their relationship with each other, with themselves, and because they probably have childhood traumas that
Yes,
are arising,
yeah.
diba? And nature's that's what nature wants. Kasi if there's like a weak link in your persona, nature will always challenge you to face it. And that might mean that you marry the type of man or woman who will challenge that. And so, you'll be faced with a relationship that is difficult. But also it's because, well, you need to rise above this to get to that next level. And your children will also mirror that. So that if you have a child with special needs, it mirrors of an opportunity for growth.
Yes.
That if you transcend it at this time, it will be like the greatest experience you'll ever have of life. Period. Like all the possibilities of transformation and change will be available to you as opposed to, a hunky-dory normal family where nothing's happening.
Yes.
Right? You would look at it as such a great
that's
opportunity.
A nice perspective. Kasi nga, di ba,
Yeah.
Of course, for parents that who have that kind of situation, di ba? It can, yun nga, like I mentioned, it can be devastating. Pero looking at that in a different lens, di ba, parang I'm sure that it will give them hope.
Yes.
Na
Yes.
It calls for a growth then,
Oh,
transformation.
Nature wants nothing more than for us to evolve and be better. That's the whole point of nature, period. It's for us to get better and better and evolve. And, we shouldn't have paused evolution. We should still be evolving and getting better. And that's what I'm working on. But, even cancer patients who see me, they come out of my consultation smiling because it's always the bigger picture.
Yeah.
There's always an opportunity there, for growth that's like not afforded to anyone else except you, because that's basically the superhuman program of humanity is through what we call illness. But really, what we call it is a senseful biological special program that activates your super skills, your super senses, superpowers. You know, all of the Avengers and the DC superheroes, they all became that because of a trauma. They were like Batman's parents were killed in front of him, and he had to activate some sort of superpower to save the world. Diba? So it's not different from the real life. That's basically what nature wants. But anyway,
Thank you for sharing that
you're welcome.
perspective. Yes, and we should do more.
Yes, let's do
Yeah,
more.
we should do more. So, yeah, again, we're going to put all the links in the show notes. And don't forget to follow us across social media platforms here on TikTok, Facebook, and also Instagram. Again. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching or listening. Bye!
Mental health ka dyan.